Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, October the 4th, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. Today I'm going to spend some time updating you on some of the issues I've been discussing over the last couple of weeks, including one of the worst eBay sellers I've ever dealt with in my 25-year eBay career. I'm also going to talk about negative feedback, both as a seller receiving unwanted negative feedback, unwarranted negative feedback, and as a buyer leaving negative feedback. So we're going to look at that from both ends. It's going to be very interesting. I'm also going to do a cutaway that's going to discuss the dreaded love notes that I talk about just about every week when a buyer sends you a best offer, whether it be a reasonable best offer or not. And I'm also going to discuss many other things that I think you guys are going to enjoy. So that being said, let's have a sip of coffee and let's get started with this. I think what I'll do first is I'll get right to the cutaway. I want to show you two things in this cutaway. The first thing I want to show you is an unnecessary love note. I'm not a fan of love notes, and I don't think eBay should even have a spot when a person sends you a best offer. Because if they're sending you a best offer of, let's say, $20 on your $30 item, it's cut and dry. What more do you need to say? But anyway, I want to show you two things, that and something else. We're going to cover them right now. We'll come back, we'll talk about them, and then we'll continue with the rest of the video. I would like to talk a little bit about love notes now. So please pay attention to the screen, and you'll see here that somebody has sent me a best offer. To give you the backstory, I'm asking $22.50 for this item, which is dirt cheap. And this person had sent me an offer of $9, which is less than half of what I want, which I automatically decline. A minute later, they send me an offer for $11, which is still less than half of the $22.50 I'm asking. I automatically decline that one. Couple of minutes later, he sends me this, $12. And I knew beyond any doubt he was going to include a love note. It says, junkyards sell these for $10. No one gonna pay more than $15 for a single Geo hubcap. So I declined his offer with a little love note of my own. And I said something to the effect, get going to the junkyard, because you're not getting this one and I'm blocking you and you can't do a thing about it. Now, I am not a fan of these love notes, but occasionally they actually do some good. They weed out people that could be a potential problem once you make the sale. I want you to think about this. If this guy is going to be so snarky before he gives me his $12 for his item, what do you think he's going to be like after he does get the item? Well, I took a look at his feedback, and as you can guess, he's very generous in leaving negative feedback. Okay? Now, that being said, there are times when people are very respectful and send me an offer, and they'll say something like, thank you for your consideration. When someone sends me a respectful message that says thank you for your consideration, if they're anywhere close to my asking price, they're getting the item, okay? Because that's just good business. But when people come off with an attitude like this guy all the way out in California, certainly he can find somebody closer to him than me. I'm all the way out on the East Coast here. So yeah, I thought you guys would enjoy this. And while I have you here, For the last 2.5 days, I've been getting a glitch message, which I'm going to show you right now. This one. There was a problem adding or updating promoted listings. Update this listing to try again. Well, don't waste your time, because if you click revise listing and you revise the promoted listing amount, you're still going to get the error message. You're stuck in a rabbit hole. Just another eBay glitch. And for anybody wondering about the title, don't worry. I fixed it to say 1999 to 2007. This was just a typo. But I wanted you to see the error message I'm getting, and I would like to know if any of you guys have also gotten the same error message. Now guys, it's really ironic because this morning I woke up to a best offer. The guy was offering me $60 for a $90 item, and he left a love note, and it said, "Thank you for your consideration." The item is not a hot seller. If I held on to it, I could probably get a little bit more, but the guy's nice. He's respectful. I accepted his offer, paid right away, and out it went. When someone is respectful in their love note, that tells me a lot. But conversely, like I said in the cutaway, when someone's a total dickhead, like that guy from California, and gives me lip over spending $12, there's no pleasing somebody like that, and I don't need to deal with them, all right? I checked his feedback that he left for other sellers, and he's very generous with the red dots. Even if he wasn't, just that nasty, snarky comment told me I didn't need to deal with him. Anytime they send me a comment with a negative connotation, even about the shipping, we're not dealing, okay? They can go to their junkyard or they can go wherever they want, but they will not get it from Cute Joey. And also in the cutaway, I showed you the current glitch I've been experiencing. It happened to me all day Wednesday and Thursday. I haven't tried listing yet today, which is Friday, but I think it's probably still ongoing, and it's annoying. eBay wants us to promote our items. It's more money for them, and yet they can't get it right. Go figure. I don't get it. Another thing that's not working out is something I've been talking about the last few weeks, is when what I'm going to call suspect buyers send us the best offer. That's reasonable. And instead of saying you'll get paid right away, eBay says this item will stay on this shelf until the buyer pays. So if someone else wants to buy it, they can. This tells me that eBay knows in its algorithm that this buyer has a track record of not paying. It happened to me again 3 days ago. A guy sent me a best offer of $20 on a $27 item, and it told me I'd be paid. It didn't tell me I'd be paid. It said the item would remain on the shelf for anybody to come along and buy. So I accepted the offer to see what would happen. Nothing happened. I swear to Christ, I firmly believe that these people have a track record of not paying. eBay knows it and will do nothing to stop it. Why can't they make these people pay immediately like regular buyers? Why do they have to have this new feature? I don't quite understand it, and I see no benefit from it at all. Okay, now I'm going to talk about negative feedback from two angles. As a seller receiving unwarranted negative feedback, and as a buyer leaving negative feedback. Let's start off with being the seller. 2 or 3 days ago, I found I got an unwarranted negative feedback. The feedback said something to the effect, I'm doing this by memory, one of the alloy wheel caps you sent me arrived broken, Seller does not accept returns. Cheat. Now, let's dissect the comment. I sent this buyer 2 alloy wheel center caps for $38, which was a bargain price. I packed these items, and they weren't broken. But let's play devil's advocate. Let's say the box was damaged and one of them did arrive broken. Okay? I want to ask everybody watching this video, if you were the buyer and you bought an item, one of them was fine, but the other one was broken, what would you do? The sensible answer would be A, contact the seller and see if he's willing to work with you, or B, open a return, item not as described, arrived broken. Either one of those would be understandable in this case. Is there any of you that would ignore those 2 viable options and go right to the red dot to neg somebody? There's nothing to gain by doing that, right? So that's what happened to me. The guy never contacted me. So I said to myself, I'm willing to bet he doesn't even want to return these. I bet he wants to keep them. But again, that's not important to me. Why would he do something like this? And I said, I think I know why. On a hunch, I Googled his name and address. How old do you think he was? Every week I've been coming out here telling you problems I have with these geriatric buyers. Guys, if I can show you conclusive proof to something I'm saying, please don't say that I'm a hater or anything, because I'm not. I'm proving my point. All right? Once again, over 75 years old. No surprise there. So that's part A of this segment. Now part B, let's talk about leaving negative feedback. I've told you over the years that I hate to leave a seller negative feedback. And I go out of my way not to do it. And I've shown you over the years times I should have left them negative, but didn't. But there's one time I will always leave a negative feedback, and that is if a person sells me something, whether it be buy it now or auction, refuses to send me the item and refuses to give me my money back. I don't know how in good conscience anybody could be like that, but it happened to me. Let me tell you about it. I've actually been talking about this the last couple of weeks. Very quickly, I bought some Mercedes hubs on eBay. I sniped the auction at the last minute, won them, paid right away. Immediately, the seller contacted me and said, hey, that's not enough money. How'd you come up with the shipping anyway? They're blaming me for entering an incorrect shipping amount when, as you know, only the seller can do that. He said he would refuse to send me the items. I said, hey buddy, this is a binding contract, you're sending them. After a little back and forth, he seemed to soften up and said he would send them out on a Friday 2 weeks ago. I said, I'll give you till Monday. He never sent them. I opened an item not received case. Do you know he totally ghosted the case? He never responded to it, never gave me my money back, nothing. eBay had to step in and give me a refund. I, in turn, left him a big, fat, red dot because that's what he deserves. Sellers like that are giving eBay a bad name, and that is why you see people saying things like, I will never buy on eBay again because the seller never sent me my items and kept the money. I know all of you have seen this if you've been checking people's feedback. Maybe the feedback of your competition. I see it all the time. I don't understand why eBay does not step up and purge the worst of the worst. You may remember about 15 or 20 years ago, eBay did do a big purge of the worst sellers. They kicked them to the curb, took them out, and that was the end of that. But I'm not saying there's a lot of people like this on eBay, because there's not. Most sellers are very good, conscientious, hardworking people. But there are a few that aren't. And I believe they need to be weeded out. The other day, I put out an unscheduled video about buyer abuse. This has been an ongoing problem for years, but I swear to God, 2024, the floodgates opened and it's just a free-for-all on eBay. There is absolutely no watchdog. There are no checks and balances, nothing. I showed you black and white proof of a bad buyer abusing the return system. I spoke to somebody at Concierge. He looked at the facts and he said, Joe, you did nothing wrong. This buyer is abusing the return system. But he said to me in the same sentence, there's nothing I can do. He said, the only thing you can do is just sit back and wait till you get the item back. And when you get the item back, you can contact us again and we'll take it from there. But even then, I can't guarantee you that we're going to be of any help to you. How is it that buyers are allowed to abuse the system blatantly, with no repercussions whatsoever? I read all of your comments on the video I put out the other day, and I enjoyed them. Keep them coming. They're very interesting. I wish there was something that we as sellers could do on our own to band together, but I just can't come up with a viable idea. If any of you guys have anything, I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you, because it's out of hand and it's not right, and I'm sick of it. Usually when a person commits fraud like that, they also have a bad attitude in their messages. And this guy, as I showed you the other day, had a bad attitude. Should he leave me unwarranted negative feedback, I'll be exposing him in a future video. Don't you worry about that. But we'll cross that bridge as we come to it. He still has not returned the items to me. And why should he? When eBay gives buyers 3 or 4 weeks to return items. Absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. We're in the Stone Age here. I don't get it. If I bought something and was going to return it, I would do it right away. Although, as you know, I rarely ever return anything. This touches on something I was talking about earlier in the video about bad eBay sellers. From June till now, October 4th, I bought 5 things on eBay. I had problems with 4 out of 5. That is absolutely unacceptable. It's disgusting, and this is why our sales are slowing up. This is one of the reasons, because people are sick of running into these scumbag bad sellers. To rehash really quick, 1 sale, no problem. Then I had 2 people who totally didn't send me anything. They totally ghosted me. I had to open an item not received case. They took their time, but they finally did send me the items, and they were as described, so I let it go. Then I had one guy who sent me the items quickly, but 2 were broken. Okay? 2 were broken. I wrote to him, gave him a chance, and he told me basically to go screw myself in Macy's window. Even though 2 were broken and 2 were acceptable, I refused to return the items. I sold the 2 good ones, so at least I got my money back, and the 2 broken ones went in the trash. And the last item was the one I told you about earlier, where the guy totally sent me nothing, refused to send me anything, and refused to give me my money back, and he got a nice big fat red dot, which is well deserved. So yeah, guys, that's basically all I want to talk about today. I could really go on and on, but I don't want to keep you guys. I know you got better things to do than hear me ramble on. So, that being said, please comment on any of the eBay topics I've touched on, or any eBay topics you want, because that's the way you're going to be heard. I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful and entertaining. Rock on and peace.